Okay, so we ran a regression model. We added a quadratic effect. We identified some issues with our data. We went back. We centered our variable and rebuilt our quadratic and cubic effects. We found that our data does seem to follow a nonlinear path. So the next step is looking at that nonlinear path, right? So let's plot this. The way that I like to plot this is not in SPSS or Stata or anything else. It's actually not bad in Stata. In SPSS, it's not good, and I feel like the plots that come out of SPSS, they're not they're not they're not easily like changeable. You know, you can't. They're ugly. That's what they are. Is they're ugly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do these in Excel. Oh, this is actually you guys want to see something cool? This is a paper. I'm gonna show your paper, FYI. Your this is a paper that Ardis is working on with nonlinear effects. Let's go. Actually, can I just go recent? So this is using EMA data and looking at the trajectories of mood across drinking and non-drinking days leading up to a drinking event. And so like positive mood, we see this kind of nice upward trajectory on drinking days that starts to accelerate as you get closer to a drinking event. Negative mood, nothing, basically it's flat. Or I mean, on non-drinking days, it's just flat. That's all positive mood. If we look at negative mood, we see that negative mood just like declines across the day. But if we look at like mood instability across the day, that's where things get really cool, right? And so we're going to learn how to make these sorts of graphs today. This is what we're going to be doing. But you can see this one, like as a person like about 6 hours out from a drinking event, their mood starts becoming increasingly more unstable. And then right as they start drinking, their mood stabilizes, right? Like drops right back off. That's a cool negative reinforcement model of drinking, which you don't see with negative affect, right? You see it with mood instability, but not negative mood. All right, so this is the type of stuff that we can do with these models. I'm going to close this out too. Let's make a fresh Excel file. Everybody open up a brand new Excel file. And remember, for all of these, it's just simple algebra, right? Like it's linear algebra, or in this case, slightly nonlinear algebra. And so in order to plot this, we're going to need an x-axis and a y-axis. The x-axis we're going to specify because we know what the values of x are, right? We know the range of x. We know what each slope for our predictors should be. So we can specify x. We don't know what y is, but we're going to come up with a predicted value of y. We're going to set a regression equation. So we're going to name this box y hat. And you know what I want to do? Let's do y hat 2. Let's do y hat 3. We're going to make 3 different, we're going to put all 3 of these lines onto our graph when we build this. We also need to have our range of x, and then we are going to need x1, x2, x3, and intercept. So let's first find out what our range of x is. Let's flip back over to SPSS, and we go Analyze, Descriptives, Explore. PBS is the one that we want to know. It's good enough. We don't need anything else. So our range for PBS is what? got a minimum of 1.06 and a maximum of 5.97. Let's just call, oh, you know what though? Are we going to use PBS as a predictor? We're going to use centered PBS. Analyze, descriptives, explore. Oops. Oh shoot, I don't know which one that is. Let's flip back over here and rename these. CPBS, we're just going to call CPBS. We don't need to worry about the other ones. So analyze, descriptives, explore, CPBS. Oh, it was in there before, wasn't it? All right, so we have CPBS, and our range for CPBS is from what to what? Yeah, so if we go like -2 to plus 2.5, that should be good. So let's put in -2. And let's just go equals this plus 0.25. And then we can just drag this down until it's at, there's 2.5. That works. So there's our range of x. We also need to fill these values in, right? What is our value of x1? Let's use our last regression model. What is our slope for x1? Yep, and so, oops, where in the heck is my output? There it is. Right here, negative 0.877, that's what you said, right? Negative 0.877. How's everybody doing right now? Are we all good? We're all caught up? Nope. Ardis, where are we at? You're getting the range? Okay, so now you're set? Does everybody's screen look like that? Can you guys see it? Do I need to make it a little bit bigger? How about that?
Healthy or healthy?
Everybody's screen look like this so far? Anyone not look like this? All right, cool. That was from our regression model right here. Get out of there. This thing right here. 0.877, and then we have minus 0.218. Let's add that in. Minus 0.218. X3 is what? Can somebody check for me? Positive 0.237. 237. And our intercept is what? 1.781. Perfect. Now we need to figure out y, right? So what do we do next? It's going to be over here. Not the intercept time the x values. Is that what you said? Oh, you said intercepts as in like each of the of the slopes. Okay. So let's, if we remember back to our basic high school algebra class, what is our formula for linear slope? Y equals mx plus b. What is b here? Okay, so let's go equals this. And we're going to put this in, we're going to put a dollar sign here. What does that do? Keeps it together. Yep, and we're going to go plus, parentheses. What's next?
Each value of x times
X1, yep. And in X1, let's put our dollar signs again to hold that constant times this, right? And we're going to put a dollar sign just on the E. Not that it really matters, but that will keep it in this range but allow us to pull the values down. So this tells us that given this slope and this intercept, if your value of x is -2, your value of y should be 3.535, right? Everyone's formula looks like this inside, is that correct? And then we can just go like this. Grab this, pull it down, and we have our slope of y. We can highlight this slope and go insert. Is it insert? Chart, line, and bam, there it is. That is what our initial regression model looks like, right? Now there's a problem here. Anybody see the problem right off the bat? One of the beautiful things about Excel is that it's so manipulatable. You can manipulate it. Malleable. Yeah, I like that. Gullible. What's the problem with this chart right now? With this figure? Yeah, I mean it's blue. It's not APA style and all of that, but there's like something that is obviously wrong here. There's only one of three things that could be wrong.
the x-axis.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
It's taking the x-axis as each case
Yeah.
rather than the x-axis.
Yep. So we can click on the line, right? And then, is it a left click on you guys? I'm using a Mac, so it's a little bit different. But we go to select data. And be cautious when you click on a line. You want to make sure that you see all of these dots, not a single dot, right? So we click on the line, and we go select data, and we want to put in our x-axis right here. So we'll just grab this and highlight that. And there's our x-axis. I also think that that axis looks gross. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's go. I'm going to raise this up just so that we don't have anything below 0. And you can double click your axis, and then you can make some kind of modifications. For this one, let's do labels, and let's just specify that the unit is, instead of, so if you look at these units, right, if we say specify unit, that means that these units down here are going to be every 1, but I don't want it to be every 1. Like, let's just go with whole numbers. So if we just go with whole numbers, it would be every 4, right? We do every 4. That looks a little bit nicer. I also don't love this axis over here looking like this. So what I would prefer, I think, is that these were actually a number and that it was 2 decimal places. Looks nice, nicer anyway, right? And then the last thing is why is it saying that I have an axis when I don't actually have an axis? I don't like that. Can I change it through layout? There we go. Oh, that still doesn't quite do it, does it?
You're saying you just want like major grid lines?
Yeah, am I doing something wrong here to get my major grid lines? I've got this one, but I don't have this one.
Oh, that. Mm-hmm.
I would have to play with it for a while to figure it out, and I'm not going to do that right now, so let's not worry about it. All right. Anyway, so we've got this line, -2 to 2. It's a decent looking line, but obviously it's very linear. How are we doing over there, Gabby? Are we?
There's something up with my formatting. It just is stuff.
That's a Midwest term right there.
Oh.
What is it?
Did you say kitty wonkus?
Yeah.
Oh, see, we say kitty wampus in
Oh.
South Dakota. South Dakota, North Dakota. You guys say wampus also?
But we say catty.
Oh, catty wampus. Where are you from?
I'm from Kansas City.
Oh, this still. I mean, it's still Midwest. It's still. My guess is this wouldn't play as well in Rhode Island or something like
Apparently it's not my well.
We've got other things.
Is that the same thing as like the kitty corner and catty corner?
I mean, well, yeah, but I wonder if he means like we always said kitty. We say kitty corner in South Dakota. You guys say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you meant?
So that's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah. Ardis, do you have the figure?
I got it.
Sammy, how we doing? I'm gonna come walk around. I'm gonna come check this stuff out.
Oh, you're installing this. It had a problem with the library that I guess my SAS import library, it like got corrupted and couldn't find it. And I thought it was because of Citrix was like interfering. Sometimes when I open SPSS, it would open Citrix. So I thought there was some kind of link with the associated file type with Citrix. I uninstalled Citrix and uninstalled Is it fast? Yo. You.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Do you remember the R workshop for Karma workshop? And they had the stuff for
I know, but I'm trying to restart you and stuff.
yeah, there's like a package to make SPSS. Or sorry, APA2 stuff. Stuff, right? Yes.
And then you have to your table not lined up or arranged correctly or diagonal.
Oh my goodness, the square on top. The exponent. Yo, you can't do the square. You can't do that in like circle and Oh goodness. Yeah. I didn't know how to do
Those are
how
a whole other language.
I mean, so what is wrong with mine?
Right.
I already deleted it and tried making it again.
You think you're gonna get a million points on this? Wabbit? Wabbit season.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pesky wabbits.
You're
So
a
that's
Mac.
why
This
I
is
don't know
interesting.
what I did wrong.
You're still working?
This is a
3.353 Mac. Right. This is a PC.
Oh, the rounding?
First is 3.355.
Mine is still, I don't know what I did wrong. I already like deleting it and remaking it. You're like, this is what I have. So it's like not, it's not. So how do I change it?
Yeah, hers is
They have the
3.555. Ours is 3.5.
And,
But I have my like,
Where is that?
and it's written the same way. So weird.
No.
It's
You know what I did? You already know
like mess
what I
up
did.
kind of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Now, double click on that.
This bullshit.
Love it.
Whoa. Alright, let's look up some southern slang. Purposely to somewhere I don't know. Like madder than wet man? Yeah. Okay, that's what it says. Did you say madder
Thank you.
than wet man?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I don't know what
Wow,
that
this
means.
is really, I was really trying to.
It's just like, it's mad.
Yeah,
I've
we're
never,
just like,
I'm not,
I know.
I'm not very good at idioms. Yeah, I used to say, yeah. Hold on. Adorable.
Like, I never
Ooh.
I don't know that one.
Synonyms.
The other ones, like when I go on a regular day, when it's not happy hour, it's $15. And I'm not about it.
16. It's still not work.
Bless you.
I like when you
Dude, is that a Midwestern?
No.
It's really hot.
I always wondered why she went so
Have
much.
you ever done yoga?
It's I have.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, it's just wash. And then I mean, like, some
Yeah, it's
like
George
the
Washington.
Yeah, there's more.
So
And it
weird.
also makes Massachusetts. Massachusetts.
But like, if you have a good cardio,
I think it's
it's
that
like
way.
a wheel.
Yeah, right.
No, I guess I pull my body up on the
Okay.
Okay.
like this, like this is my head.
No, but the thing you actually.
Oh, where it's like, not my head.
No.
I think it's this head. No. Yeah. And then I gotta do yoga very often. Shoulders.
I'm gonna go.
Okay, wait.
Also,
Yeah.
This is just a
It's not very hard.
This is also another German word.
And then I was able to do the wheel, which is the one where like, you pick yourself, you're like roll upside down from the bottom, which I didn't think I was gonna
Really
do
up there.
it was good. But usually like they walk you through it, or we'll already be in a position and they'll be like, oh, if you want to understand.
Yeah, like now's an opportunity.
Yeah, but if you don't want to, you can just do whatever.
It's the where it goes.
And I go to the, I actually go to
around and like does.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would just be like, nope.
I feel like that's what that calls Right, it's like going to like that.
Oh, you go to.
No,
I think you need to relax.
Fresh now, I'm reading this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These people don't know which way is up. That I'm as lost as last year's
They
Easter
say,
egg.
not in those, it's supposed to say on.
We have history checkers, one
I
for
flip
group
between the
therapy.
you say on.
I do. Just because
And then
ants
next one
is
is
like
how to do
yeah,
therapy, and
So
then
it can be
call-
confused with the insect.
Yeah, it's like when I say my Aunt Daisy.
I don't know if it's your aunt or your aunt cat
So there's a word for the frustration of being stuck in this one body that inhabits
And then
one
the
place
science
at a time.
Yeah.
Like, see, he's love you.
Yeah, I
No, you
that
don't.
often.
Like, how
No,
to
you
feel
can't.
from
What is
assessment.
It's called focus.
So
Dude, I experience that every day. That's just called
focus
focus.
on that. Yeah, focus on the sequence.
Not frustration.
Focus on the
Just
sequence.
one
Say,
body.
say,
And
say
then
the thing
like
that's
it's
wrong
like
with the
one
type.
side of the
Oh,
like
yeah.
one side on the other one.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
Wait, how do you say it?
Cauliflower.
Whoa.
Celery. Oh, I have. Like, oh, that's
I like cauliflower. I don't know that that's what
Oh,
you're
you're all this.
Probably
We
isn't.
can go focus last week. And then I'm gonna do like
That candy that's like inside
how much you
chocolate.
can champ the shambles.
Caramel?
C-A-R-A-M-E-L.
Well, that one I also go with.
Okay, so everybody should have a line that looks roughly like this, right? Let's add our quadratic effect now. So in order to add our quadratic effect, what do we need to do?
Is that for y hat 2?
Okay, so for y hat 2, how are we going to do this?
Where the x values?
You're going to square the x values. Let's start by just doing this. We've already got a formula typed in. No need to reinvent the wheel. Let's just pull it over. Did you see what I did there?
And then go in and square the x in the formula.
Okay, so we can't just square the x, right? We actually need to, this is, in regression, regression assumes this is a whole nother predictor, right?
Yeah.
It is another variable in your analysis. So we're going to say plus, parentheses, this, and we want to set this using the dollar sign to be constant, times this. We're going to set our dollar sign again here, times this again, right? And we set our dollar sign. And we get this new value of y hat. And then we can grab it, drag it down.
Can you go back to the formula?
Yep.
That's where I missed.
Because this is the, remember, this is the slope if these values are all squared, right? Now we need to find out what this slope looks like. Let's just click in here. And then we're going to right click or two finger click if you're on a Mac. Select data. And we're going to add another series. Let's just add one more slope. So now we're actually going to be able to see both our linear slope and our nonlinear slope, right? I think we went down to 2 before. X-axis we don't need to worry about because it's already been fixed for our last one. When we hit this, we're going to see two lines on there. One should be curved, one should be straight. There we go. So we have this negative slope followed by a negative, this is a deceleration, right? That means it's starting to go negative and then it gets more negative, right?
Ooh, deceleration. So that means what is that called? Second. The second derivative. Is it negative?
I think so, something like that, yeah.
Or an interval?
No. I
Okay.
forget.
Does everybody's graph look like this at this point? Does anybody's graph look like this at this point? All right, we've got a few. Sammy, can you turn your screen just so I can see it?
It didn't populate anything.
Oh, let's try that
I'm
again.
sure I did something horribly wrong.
I'm sure it's not horribly. Click in there. Select data.
Oh, thank you. I put that in the wrong
Yours
one.
looks good. All right, that's how we can
take patterns.
click on your line and then select data. Well, I need to, that's fine. Hit add.
If you don't buy a new computer, I will buy
Do you want to talk about that?
If you take a stab,
How do you feel on that? You want to maybe think about it?
I don't think there are any serious side effects either.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the last time I had it.
Let me look at my. Okay. We're just kind of like partially done. You're gonna come?
It increases the grapefruit. It's like when you eat a watermelon seed.
Yeah, right.
What? Yeah, hot yoga.
All right, so we have our negative linear slope and our quadratic slope, which means we have one thing left, right? Now we have to make our cubic slope. So to make our cubic slope, we again are not going to reinvent the wheel. Let's just grab this formula, move it over. And how are we going to do this? What's that? Plus parentheses. Oh, that's what you said, plus parentheses. Yep. Money sign, G6. Oh, come on, you. Won't let me add the dollar sign first. Oops, not G8, I'm sorry. G6. And then let's put our dollar sign here, times what? Yeah, this times this times this. And then let's just come put our dollar sign in, dollar sign in, dollar sign in. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
Your number is not right, Sammy?
Yeah. I'm sure
Did something terribly, terribly
Again,
wrong.
yeah, just set the whole thing on fire. I'll never heard that.
Did you figure it out? What do we do next? Oh, you might have missed it. I dragged this down. And what do we do next?
Add it to the chart.
Yep, so we need to go select data, add a new series, and that series is going to go from here down to here. And when we do this, we should get a new line. We get something pretty cool looking, right? Now we can go through which one of these, what do we know? How do we know what to use for our actual paper when we do this? You just use remember, this is just a portion of the equation. This is another portion of the equation. This is the full equation right here, right? So all we want is this one. We can highlight this. Wait, does everybody have this? Who does not have this cool looking line right now? Who does have this cool looking line right now? We have a couple people who don't have it. Ardis, you don't have it yet?
I'm still working on the formula because it posted in the wrong.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'll give you a minute. Go ahead and work on the formula. Are we good now? Yeah? We're all good? Everybody has this? Not quite? And I'm going to do this. I'm just going to like, I don't know. We'll leave it. All right. So if we just want to know what our true slope is, we can just highlight this, and then insert chart line, and there we have it. Of course, this is still not quite right because this should be select data, our x value is over here. Let's change that. Okay. I don't like these being like this, so let's change this to interval 4. And there we go. Now, of course, we could leave this as interval 1, right? Oh, is everybody looking at their computers? Not a thing? I'm just talking. There's an easier way than setting this to a different unit. Like if we leave it like this, right? We can do something like this. Let's just grab this, move it over here, set it kind of roughly on top of our other one. And we could just say like, okay, we're just going to go -2, and we're going to change this to 1, right? There's 1. And then we'll just drag this down here. And then obviously this is off. So we just want it to be 1 to 2. And we grab that and then pull this up. Of course, you can see now there's a problem with our chart, right? When there's the more values that you list for your x-axis, the more fine-grained your line will be. And so here, if we're just going -2 to -1 to 0 to 1 to 2, our line looks like that. With a whole bunch of values, we were able to get our line looking nice and smooth. So we can fix this by just coming back here and putting this back 2 equals this plus 0.25, dragging this down, and then of course fixing our line so that it uses the full range again. And now you can go in and edit your chart or your figure to make it look the way that you want. You can change you can see there's actually still some like disjointed stuff, right? You can click on your, let me see. Maybe you can't. I thought that you could smooth this. Anybody know how to? Oh, maybe it's under select data. Is it format data series? No. There is a way to do it, and I am not exactly sure what that way is. Select data. I don't know. Certainly you can smooth it by just increasing your range of x if you want to, right? But anyway, I think that is about all that we need to do today. Any questions, comments, concerns about anything today that we did?
So, a question as far as changing the horizontal axis
Over here?
markers.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. How exactly then were you able to make it just like the whole numbers?
Yeah, so you can do it two ways. But right here, notice that I have like your range, you have a whole number every fourth number, right?
Yeah.
And so if you click on that axis, then click on numbers, and then go to labels, you can specify that your interval unit, right now it's set as 1. That means every one of these is in there. I just set that as 4 because every fourth number is a whole number, and that will change it.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. And now you guys know how to make beautiful nonlinear figures for your homework and for your exam. Any questions?
My labels at the bottom are like 1, 5, 9, 15, 17.
Oh, you need to go select data. And then for x, go and put in the range of x. Let me show you.
But after that,
Yeah.
There you go. Good to go. The homework is due next week, and then, well, let me fix it right now. I keep doing this. Ooh, it says it's locked until what? February what? Okay.
we just select. Because that's like the one that you want.
Due next
For you,
week, available from today until next week.
now you
All right, should be good to go.
yeah, that's literally only good. But
All right, any other questions, comments, concerns?
that's all I did.
If not, then that is it for this week. I will see you guys next week.